Hello, it's me. I read a blog today that's got my wheels spinning, and I kind of want to make some comments about it. It has to do with the double standards in the world, especially in the Middle East, about women versus men and what is assumed about the guilt of women versus the guilt of men. In the Middle East, men are assumed innocent until proven guilty. In the Middle East, women are assumed guilty until proven innocent, and many women get stoned to death because of that double standard. In America, in the U.S., it's actually the same. It's not as obvious, it's not as out there, but the attitude is the same. I know this for a fact because it happened to me in a very small dose. But this blog that I read today basically discusses it in a much bigger extreme. It's not very long. It's actually under Greta Christina's blog, Atheism, Sex, Politics, Dreams, and Whatever. And she has a guest post by Amanda, and the last name is spelled M-A-R-C-O-T-T-E. I'm probably going to butcher that name, so I wanted to spell it at least. So I have to scroll down now, which is always fun when I'm just working one-handed. Okay. Let me get this back over here. Okay, I don't really have a good side. Oh, and I was gonna mention that too. Yes, I'm old. Yes, I'm overweight. And yes, I am not gorgeous. I even have my doggy ears on, see? So if you require these things for a woman to be able to give her opinion about something, you can go bye-bye now, because that's not me. All right, okay, here we go. In the recent comment thread on this topic of sexual harassment at conferences, holy fucking shit, an attempt to discuss the actual issue, Amanda Mercati of Pandagon made a comment that I thought was very important and very pertinent. With her permission, I'm posting it here as a guest post, and I'm letting it stand on its own. Trigger warning, description of violent rape and of rape victims not being believed. I'm going to see if this doesn't go back any further, darn it. Okay, never mind. Okay, so moving on. This is the article. I've been working the feminist beat for several years now and have seen lots and lots of stories about sexual harassment and rape. I have never once seen the victim go without being called a liar. Not once. And that includes a case where there was a video of the assault where the victim was clearly so intoxicated as to be unable to move. Some people thought she was dead, and the rapists assaulted her so badly she peed herself. That girl was called a liar, and the usual cries of more evidence needed were issued, resulting in at least one and possibly two hung juries before they could get a conviction. Women are considered guilty until proven innocent, and the trick is that there's no level of proof sufficient to win the argument with the skeptics. Our culture starts from the assumption that women's natural state is lying. How that obvious untruth got so ingrained is hard to really account for, but that's true of many stereotypes that, no matter how ludicrous they are when you really look at them, are nonetheless widely believed. It's also cross-cultural, thus the Muslims' religious rule about rape not being believable without 4 male witnesses. Interesting that they have to be male. Of course, the problem is that disbelieving accounts of rape and harassment as your initial stance is basically giving permission to rapists and harassers. Most of them know well enough to wait until they're alone with the target to get aggressive. They know that when both they and the target walk away, the person whose account is given the benefit of the doubt, even past the point of ludicrousness, is theirs. Yeah, I'm reading this because this is so true. This is so true, and I got to have just a little taste of this in my own life. I have a couple other videos I recently did about that particular experience. Had I known that this person wasn't my friend and that he was misrepresenting me behind my back, I could have gone to his employers. I could have said what actually had happened, what had confused me, why I was going to the bar, why I was pushing for an explanation, or at least reassurance that I hadn't just been fucked over yet again and used. But because it was worked out behind my back and I was allowed to go on continuing to believe this man was my friend, I got to endure 3 years of being treated like shit at this bar and not knowing why. And you know what? Depression and anxiety, in addition to the fact that it destroyed my reputation and cost me being able to work at the theater that I love to work at, cost me pretty much all my friends. It also caused me to... anxiety and depression can cause physical harm. It can even kill people, and it has. For me, it caused me to have major medical problems. I ended up having major surgery. I won't even say what else it's done to me as far as my job and everything else. My life. It's taken away the quality of my life. And nobody cares. I have tried very hard to beseech the employer of this man and said, this is my side of the story that you didn't need to hear until after you decided on your own that I was guilty of this thing that he wanted you to think I was. You infatuated with a married man, making me out to be some kind of tramp or person with no scruples or ethics. Sorry, but that's not me. And this just makes me angry. It makes me angry that this happens. And I believe it happens because it happened to me in this small way. And I can't even imagine how horrible it would have been if this had been rape. If I had been raped. And what if it had been rape? Would this person, would this employer have continued to stand behind this man? Would the friends that I thought I had that were actually that also his friends still side with him and say, sorry, Diane, but you know, you're the one that needs to be accountable. You're the one that needs to suffer. You know, it's so much worse if he gets hurt by this. How far does this whole men siding with men thing go? I mean, is it okay for a man to rape a woman in the opinion of his peers? Anyway, I just think it's wrong that our society has this huge double standard. The other double standard is if a woman is depressed and she goes to the bar on a regular basis, she's just asking for it. But a man can go to the bar on a regular basis and it's okay. He shouldn't expect to be harassed or have his life ruined because of it. Or have his life ruined because he trusted a bartender. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to share that. My advice to women, be really careful and don't trust anybody. That's the one thing I'm having to learn in spades.